Welcome to Jerry Berry's Friend-Tastic Library, the podcast where I interview everyday average people about their fantastic lives. I like to see how fast I can say that. A good auctioneer. Today I'm talking to my sister-in-law, Sarah. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. So usually on the show, we talk about how we first met, but we've actually never met. This is probably the most we've ever talked in our lives. So, well, we've like Zoomed for family functions. My computer asks me to restart like literally every single time I start.
You were my secret Santa giver 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was super legit.
Yeah, that's like the only times we've chatted. Well, there's like a whole family group chat. So besides that and the Zooms, we've literally but I've never met you face to face. So I guess if the listeners are really invested, they would have heard your husband / my brother's episode, which was number 2 in the Army Now and Then. And so you're his wife. So then
I am his wife.
if the listeners are new around here, they can go back and listen to that one if they want to, but we already established that he's kind of boring. So I don't know. Maybe they won't want to listen to it. I'm not sure. Either way. So we're like the same age, right? I think you're like a year younger than me.
A year younger.
Yeah. When is your birthday?
Right after yours, the 26th of March.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're like does that make you an Aries?
I'm an Aries.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm a super cheesy hippie Californian that believes in astrology. So I always like to know. Sometimes people give it up. Sometimes people are like, no, witch lady, I'm not telling you.
Your brother doesn't believe in it, but I swear by it.
That's amazing. Yeah, people make fun of me for it all the time. I've totally accepted all their judgments. I don't care anymore. But yeah, I have a friend that has a birthday like 2 days before yours. So that's funny. Anywho, yeah, I have 0 questions. But I thought you had a job, but you said you were a stay-at-home mom?
I am a stay-at-home mom. I quit working right as the pandemic started going pretty hard.
Oh, okay. Yep. That makes sense. Yeah, I think a lot of people stopped working then. How's stay-at-home mom life?
Busy.
Yeah, I'd imagine. My husband's the house spouse, that's what we call it. And I have no want for that job at all. I'm so glad.
I call myself the Mom-Chauffeur.
A Mom-Chauffeur? I love that.
Yeah.
How old are the 2 kids now? Because I've met neither of them.
Charlie is 6 and Eliza is 3.
Okay. So are they are both of them in things besides school?
So Charlie does karate 2 days a week and Eli does dance 1 day and karate 1 day.
Oh my gosh.
And then we have speech therapy 1 day a week. So
we're probably gonna have to start speech therapy for Haley because she's almost 2 and she really doesn't talk at all. She babbles and she knows maybe 5 words.
So when we started speech in July 2 years ago, July 2020, Eliza said juice and dad and mom. That was it.
Yeah.
She got tubes right before that. And once we started speech, it was full sail. We graduated in December and that girl does not stop talking now.
So my son started talking at a year and just never stopped. And he's had really good full vocabulary sentences and everybody's astonished at how well he talks. And Haley definitely understands what you're telling her really well. So the doctors aren't concerned about anything other than the fact that she just isn't choosing not to use her words, basically. Yeah. So yeah, we're hoping that with speech therapy, it'll do the same thing and just take off. Although at the same time, it is kind of nice that she's not talking constantly.
She can't talk back if she doesn't talk.
Yeah. So yeah.
Eliza's a 3-nager. She's super sassy. She will argue with you about the shoes she wears, the outfit she wears, the panties she wears. Her favorite word right now is actually, and she'll say, actually, I'm not talking to you.
Jared used to say that all the time. Actually, it's 7:37. It's not 7:35.
And it just drives you crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm she will probably need speech therapy. Am I rushing it? No, we'll talk about it at the 2-year checkup. Right now, I'm fine with her babbling. But yeah, she literally says mom, dad, doggy, kitty, and she knows more in sign language. So she does this and then points a lot. She'll I think she kind of says cookie because that's what she likes to eat, her cookies. They're really good at learning what's important to them for survival. Yeah. Otherwise they're nah, I don't need that. But yeah, how's karate for the kids? We've been thinking of signing Jared up for stuff. We don't know what yet.
Karate is amazing. Charlie struggles with anger issues and like an emotional roller coaster in his own brain. And karate has been wonderful. Inside of the house, outside of the house, in school, his focus is completely different. So it's been really, really good.
That's awesome. We're signing the kids up for swim lessons, and oddly enough, where the pool is, there it's like attached to a rec center that offers karate. So I thought that was interesting.
Do it.
Maybe we'll do that after, because Jared is kind of crazy. I feel like all kids are crazy, especially boys. That might be like really sexist of me, but I feel like little boys have more energy, like they just suck it from the demon himself or something. I don't know, but
it's been really nice to like watch the hamster ball turn of setting goals and achieving them. And
yeah,
6-year-olds don't do that.
no,
so
they definitely do not. how's the oldest one?
Mariah is good. She just recently wrecked her car.
I'm assuming she's safe since you're laughing.
So I'm laughing because she said that she was washing her windshield and didn't see the brake lights, but her best friend was on the phone at the time of the crash. So her phone is blowing up. My phone is blowing up, all trying to figure out if she's okay. She called me before she called the police. It's great. So yeah, she was that typical teenager who's on her phone and not paying attention and wrecked her car.
Okay. Yeah.
Washing the windshield.
It's so hard being young, because she graduated. I have her picture on my fridge. I'm pretty sure she graduated high school, right? So she
graduated high school.
Is she just working then? No college?
She decided college wasn't for her right now. She says she's going to wait. So Tennessee has a program where if you're so far out of high school, they pay for your 4-year instead of a 2-year.
Uh-huh.
So she's going to wait until she meets those qualifications. So
that's really cool. They do that. They do something similar here. If you are a California resident, which means you have to live here, I think, for 2 full years, you can get your first 2 years of community college covered for free. It doesn't matter what age you are, like how soon you graduated, you just have to be a resident in the state. And I think there's a lot, like not just the one around me, I think like San Francisco offers that now. It's really awesome. And I know from like my dad that Delaware does something similar. But you can't wait too long there, because I think he was complaining about Kara not going to college right away or something, because if she didn't go by a certain time after graduating, they wouldn't cover it or something. I don't know.
So Tennessee does all high school graduates get 2 years.
Okay.
So they get their associates. But if you're 24 and have no college credits, you can get a 4-year.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's so funny. Me and my husband were just talking about this today, because I was talking about how happier I am mentally now that I'm not a college student, even though sometimes I miss having like longer time off from like semesters. Right. But it takes such a toll on like my brain and my body that I morally can't like say that I'm going to force my kids to go to college. I just can't do it. I know people probably think I'm a bad parent for that, but like
college isn't for everybody.
Yeah, it destroyed me. And like my husband never went to college, and he made great money until we decided that I would be the breadwinner and he would be the stay-at-home person. So, I just don't think it's necessary. And everybody I know that went to college with me, it like broke our souls. And we were just all so happy to be out and done. And yeah, like that's why I didn't go get a master's or anything. I stopped at my bachelor's.
I don't blame you.
I could not. Did you have any college experience?
Nope.
Cool. See? It works out. It works out for everybody. Yeah, I cannot. I also don't feel the need to like pay for college either. I don't know. A lot of people think that's rude, but I'm like, why would I pay for it? That makes no sense. I'm not the one going.
And we get 13 years of education. Like, why can't we like say, okay, this person wants to be a nurse, we'll give them this during high school, and then they get some like on the job training.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like, I feel like it used to be more prevalent in high school that you could go to the vocational center in high school, and you would basically do that instead of high school. Even I think Nick did that. which like for people that don't know our family is our brother. I'm pretty sure he went to vocational school in high school. He didn't even graduate high school, I don't think. But before he didn't graduate and got his GED instead, he was going to tech school to learn electrician stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I remember all the girls that would go get their CNA license or like salon and cosmetology. And then there was like butcher shop stuff. There was like carpentry. There was all kinds of stuff that you could learn in high school.
Butcher shops?
Yeah. Where you would learn how to like break down meat and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was crazy. At least that's how it was in Elizabeth, where we grew up. Where are you from? That's an
From
excellent
Florida.
question. From Florida. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That sounds hideous. Do you like Florida?
Would I ever live there again? Probably not. But I do miss seafood a lot. So I'm completely landlocked in Tennessee, so I don't get fresh seafood.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand that. I feel like I've never been to Florida because I've always heard that it has like the worst weather. But I don't know how true that is.
Okay, so summers are stupid hot. Like you walk outside and you have to, in order to catch your breath, because it's so humid and so hot, I cannot. And then there's no winter, there's no fall.
Okay.
It's either hot or like 75 degrees.
Okay. Yeah. See, I wouldn't want to live there.
And every day it rains. And if it doesn't rain, it smells like it's going to rain. And it literally can be super sunny outside and then just rain for no reason.
Okay, I'm glad my assumptions were right. I'm flying into Miami to get on a cruise in like October, September or something. So I'll spend like one night in Miami and that'll be it. But yeah, I purposefully didn't.
You have to drink a mojito while you're down there.
Is that where they started?
No, but there's a lot of Cubans down there.
I'm wondering, like, I do love mojitos because I am a rum drinker, and now I'm like, is that where they started? I do want to try Cuban food the one night that I am in Miami. I'm very excited about that because I love Mexican food, and so I feel like just the Latin American food in general is very similar, but it has its own little like syncrasies.
It's just like the language. It's got its own dialect.
Yeah. So also, I think it's pretty cool that I'll be like where Pitbull is from. Low-key hoping I run into Mr. Worldwide while I'm there. But yeah, otherwise I really have no need to go to Florida.
Hey, fun fact, speaking of Pitbull being from Florida, Flo Rida is from Florida.
I love his name. It cracks me up. Okay.
Yeah, but it's Florida. It is Florida.
I know. There's another one too. I think it's like Eva Longoria. Is it Eva Longoria? No, that doesn't sound right. There's another actress as well that's from Miami. I'll have to look it up now. I watch a lot of YouTube videos with like where they interview actors, whatever. I feel like it's Eva Longoria. I'm gonna have to Google it now. Either way. Yeah. So how did you get from Florida to Tennessee?
Your brother.
Okay. So you lived there all the way until you guys met?
So I moved to Georgia.
Okay.
And I lived there for a while. And then I moved to Tennessee to be with Randy.
So did you meet him while you were in Georgia? Because that's the last time I saw Randy, was whenever he was in Georgia.
So I feel like I should probably tell you how your brother and I met.
You know, he may have mentioned it, but he was very sketchy about it, I feel like. And I don't ever go back and rewatch them. So if he did tell me, I totally forgot.
I was 18.
Uh-huh.
And I was working at a like arcade water park. It has go-karts and
I remember the story. He did say this. Okay.
He was supposed to be a one-night stand. Here we are 10 years later. He said, "Hey, my friends and I are going out for drinks tonight. Do you want to come?"
Yeah, I remember that.
And story. I laughed at him. And I said, "How old do you think I am?" And he said, "Oh, I'm hoping you're legal." And I said, "Yeah, barely." So he gave me his number and I threw it in the trash can.
Oh, okay.
I was determined not to go out with this guy. And he found me like 2 hours later and he was like, "So where's my text message?" And I was like, Well, it's really hard to text somebody when you threw their number away. So he gave me his phone and asked me to put my number in there, and he texted me from that. Yeah.
So
So
obviously you didn't go out for drinks, or maybe you did. I don't know. Did somebody let you in the bar?
we went out to dinner, but I can't remember where we went. I know. Okay, we'll get to that part. So he texted me. We ended up hooking up. He came and picked me up from my grandparents' house. That's where I was living at the time. And my Grammy says, "Where are you going on that thing?" And I said, "I'm going on a date. Love you." And I kissed her on the forehead and booked it out the door. He picked me up on his Gixxer.
Okay. And is this in Georgia or is this in?
No, it was in Florida, in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Yep. He had just come home from a deployment, so there was a group of them that had driven down on their bikes. And
wait,
yeah,
so this was like 2010 or
12.
2011, 2012. And
Yep.
how old is Randy? Randy's like 38.
Yes.
So that means that he was like 26. Okay.
He was 27.
Continue on. Okay.
It was March of 2012.
Okay.
Right before my birthday.
Okay. Cool.
So like the weekend of your birthday is when we met.
Yeah. Okay.
So I went out with him. I ended up in his hotel room. Some of my finest moments. I got up and I went to work, and I was like, cool, I'm free now. Like, great. I'll never see this guy again. And he shows up at my job.
Again, the water park?
No, I was a bartender at a beachfront that sold oysters. It's called Buckets.
So did he know you worked there and he was creeping, or?
Yeah, he knew I was working there because he asked me, he's like, "Are you going to eventually?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm going to Buckets." And he was like, "All right, cool. Have a nice day."
Okay.
I walked out. So he shows up, it's like lunch, it's dead, there's weather rolling in, and he comes in and he says, "So my friends and I can't leave, the weather's gonna be too bad, so we'll be here for another night. I'll see you after work." I was like, sure, I guess. So we ended up at Joe's Crab Shack, and it was a good time. Dinner was good. We get back to the hotel, we're playing cards, and his buddy, Sasquatch, had gotten a waitress's number. She's 6 feet tall. She can put her feet behind her head. She was some sort of like rhythmic gymnast. Yeah. That was the weekend. Yeah.
I love every minute of the story. Growing up, Randy was always the coolest one, right? Well, I mean, there was Randy, Danny, Nick, and Jimmy. So obviously Randy was the coolest one. Since you know
That's
the
so
others.
hard to believe.
So like, well, you can imagine going out with Jimmy and Nick is just not a good time. Like they're not cool. You're not going to get laid with those two around at all. They're not getting laid. You're not getting laid. It's never a good time. Especially because whenever I was like 18 to 21 and partying, neither one of them had teeth. So like way not a good time. I'm totally not judging people without teeth. I love every person ever, but they just like, it was like going out with the stars of Duck Dynasty. So
I'm done.
Danny was like way old by the time I was ready to go out and party, and he was on his second wife with like his fourth kid, right? So Randy's the only cool one. Right. And yeah, it's so funny to like hear how he was with his friends hitting on you, because I remember going and hanging out with Randy all the time and him hitting on women. It's really, really funny.
Yeah. There was never a dull moment, that is for sure.
I also learned how to be a player and how to pick up guys because of Randy. He like taught me the ways.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. You know, Mr. I have 16 Melissas at the same time.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask, because I know for a fact in 2012, I never heard of a Sarah, but I heard of other people. So was it like, I probably just put him on blast, and I hope I don't cause a divorce, but I'm assuming since you've been together for so long, did you know that it was like, was it casual for a while?
So in 2012, he was still legally married to Kaylee.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was wondering. Like, I didn't want to like,
yeah.
I'm not trying to like bring people up, but I'm like, okay, for sure there was no Sarah being mentioned at all.
Yeah, he was still married to Kaylee, and he was in Georgia, and she was in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And we had our weekend in March.
Uh-huh.
And then I think the first time I went to Georgia from Florida to see him was like in June.
Mm-hmm.
And Shag was down.
That's funny.
And he was like, "Oh, here comes the 18-year-old." And I was like, "No, I'm 19 now, guy. Like, come on, give me some credit here."
Yeah, for sure. Not like he can judge anyways, because he was dating Randy's sister the whole time. Continue on.
Right.
Not me, by the way.
Right. Michelle.
Yeah. Episode 1.
So I packed his bags to go home to his mom's house for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
And we broke up in January.
Okay.
And we remained friends.
Okay.
And then I stood him up a few times. Like, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm going to travel the coast. I'll come see you." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm good."
Okay. Very cool.
But I had a boyfriend every time he wanted to hang out with me, and I just couldn't be that person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then I guess, I don't know, March of 2017, I decided that I was going to give him a shot at something.
Okay.
So we kind of started texting a little bit more than normal. And then I came to see him for Labor Day weekend.
Okay. And that's
then,
like 2017?
Yep. And then
Okay.
I did a turn and burn and got all of my stuff from Georgia that would fit in my little Saturn Ion, and I booked it back to Tennessee.
Okay. Very cool.
And I've been here since.
Because I definitely knew you were a thing. Like, I got married in 2017, so I definitely knew of you before that. So you guys must have been like talking a wee bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that explains so many
Sorry,
things.
he just walked in and did this weird little dance.
Because whenever I went to go see Randy, so I moved to California in 2013. Technically it was like January of 2014. And I left Pennsylvania and drove down to Georgia to see Randy. I don't want to I don't want to put him on I don't want to throw him under the bus, but there was definitely no mention of Sarah, and there was no Sarah in sight. There were a lot of other people there. And then I drove from there to California. So that was the last time I saw Randy, was like January of 2014. Like quite literally. Every time we would go visit Pittsburgh, we would like go on exact opposite dates, and it would never cross. And then the whole ordeal with my wedding happened and he couldn't go. So yeah, that was that. And then the next thing I knew, he was in Tennessee. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure that I was either moving to Tennessee or I had just moved here when your wedding happened.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely know that you were yeah, I definitely remember seeing pictures on Facebook of like you and Charlie by then, before then.
Okay.
By then, something like that. And I think for my actual wedding, when was Eliza born?
September of 2018.
That's what I thought. I was like, I think around my wedding, you guys were talking about having another kid. Because I remember Randy called me and was like, "Yeah, I think I have another kid." And I was like, "I would not do that. Like 10 out of 10, do not recommend that." He's like, "What are you
Thanks, Jerry.
about?" I'm pretty sure you were there. He was probably on speakerphone. Yeah, so I was like, "Why would you do that? Your kid is like done. Her kid is like almost done. Like he's getting there." I just would not. Nope. But he did. I'm so glad you guys did. And what's funny is then I went around and had another kid too. So I'm a huge hypocrite. But
10 out of 10 would not recommend.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry, I'm not having any more. So
but yeah, I forget what I was gonna say. I just thought of something and then I completely I was gonna ask you. So does Randy still like to have company while he's in the bathroom?
So even from like day one of my visits to Georgia, I would sit in the doorway.
Yeah. Okay.
And have conversations. And we still do it to this day.
Yeah. So there was a huge joke that every time Randy would come visit and whatever girl would be there, And then they would go to the bathroom for a really long time. And then a lot of people that were new to the house or the family would be like, oh my God, are they just having sex in there? And he'd be like, no, he's pooping and he needs company. That's just how he's been his whole life. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, that's how he rolls. So, you know, I was just wondering if that was still a thing.
Oh, definitely still a thing.
I love that. That's amazing. I was trying to think of any other weird things. So also Randy never really packed to travel anywhere back in the day. He would arrive to his destination and then go
With
shopping.
one outfit.
Yeah, and then he would go shopping. Is that still a thing, or has Dad
No,
changed?
because I pack for him.
Okay. Yeah. And like I always worked in retail and I worked at the mall a few times. So then he would usually have me or Michelle or both of us go shopping with him and help him pick out stuff, or we would give him the discount from wherever we were working.
So you used to work at Aeropostale?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a red oversized jacket that I'm not sure how it ever fit him, but I have worn it so much because it's so big and so cozy.
I'm pretty sure I originally bought that for my dad and or Tracy, and somehow Randy acquired it.
Well, I love it. So thanks for acquiring Randy.
maybe he bought it, but you know, he did have chunky days, especially whenever he wouldn't be in the military. Then he would like you know, drink and party all the time, and you just gain weight that way. So I do remember him having like the chunkier times in his life.
Your brother is the biggest he's ever been right now. You're welcome.
That's what Dadhood does though.
And he's still not that big. So I'm really not sure where
I'm assuming it had to have been bought for my dad or Tracy, and that's where he got it. Because I remember buying them matching hoodies at some point while I worked there. Because my dad and Tracy both like red, and I don't know why I would ever buy Randy a red hoodie, but maybe I don't remember. I partied too much.
And it's a zip up, and he hates zip up jackets.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been meant for him. But yeah, I remember Randy arriving in Pittsburgh at any time of year with a backpack. And in the backpack was like a little travel shower bag with his 18 little bottles, because he's very particular, and his 1 gallon jug of Taylor Jerry rum. That was how Randy traveled back in the day.
Now he drinks vodka or bourbon.
That's funny. I don't really drink that much anymore, but he was the one that taught me the rum sandwich, which is what I'm pretty sure he called it. Maybe I made that up. And that's where you pour rum in your cup, a little bit of ginger ale, and then more rum. And then you just do this motion like this. And that mixes enough. Yeah, that mixes it enough, and then you can drink it. He's also so good at pretending he's drinking and not actually drinking, but getting everybody else fucked up. He's so good at that. So good at that.
Yep.
There was one night where he came to visit Pittsburgh, and I was 21, and we went out. It was me, Randy, the girl that he had at the time, and Michelle. And then Randy loves getting everybody so drunk. So we're doing shots. We're doing shots of SoCo. I can't even tell you how many shots I did that night. You could probably ask him and he'd remember, because I'm sure that fucker was sober. And there were these 2 guys that were hitting on me and Michelle, and we had seen them at the bar before, and we called them Tom Cruise and Tom Cruise's friend because one looked like Tom Cruise. So I don't like Tom Cruise at all, like as a person, as an actor, whatever. So, but Michelle really does. So she was all into the guy that looked like Tom Cruise. So I automatically was like into his friend. And Randy was like, I'm going to get you 2 fucked up to have sex tonight. And I was like, try me. I'll keep up. And I ended up getting so drunk that I left Michelle at the bar, because that guy was like, hey, do you want to get out of here? And I was like, yep. And
yep, let's go.
I left. And I followed him driving, by the way, because I'm really smart at 21. And I wake up the next morning at like 6 a.m. because that's how he is. And I'm in his house, and he's just like, oh, it's morning. What do you want to do for breakfast? And I'm like, where am I? What is happening right now? Why are you talking so much?
Such a great big brother who just lets you leave in your car.
Me and Michelle ended up getting into like a huge argument about that. We forgave each other because we love each other. But yeah, that was a very fond memory with Randy. I'm trying to think of what else Randy has taught me in my day.
Randy taught me that if you ever have too much to drink, you can shove your finger down your throat and keep going.
Yep. Yes. Same. I call it the puking rally. I do it to this day. Puking rally is necessary.
At Randy's apartment in Georgia, there was like a chain link fence around the property, and he'd have all these parties every weekend, and I would go dig my little hole, throw up, and keep going.
I still do it all the time. I actually got really drunk filming a podcast episode in person with one of my husband's friends that drinks a lot, and I was trying to keep up with him, and I never posted it because I just got way too drunk, and then I got so fucked up that I like blacked out, and the next morning I had to go to work because it was a Sunday night, and so Monday morning I'm at work and I'm like barely a person like at my desk, and then somebody comes around and they're like, Jerry, are you ready for that meeting? And I was like, yup. So I just went to the bathroom and threw up and got coffee, like rolled into the meeting, good as new.
I'm so glad your brother taught us life lessons really early.
Yeah, he also taught me I think it was Randy that taught me the fridge rule. I wish he was there. Well, if he is there, maybe you can ask him. But I remember, I'm pretty sure it was Randy that taught me the fridge rule. He was like, I have the fridge rule for women, right? And you can use it for guys too. And I was like, okay, what's the fridge rule? And he was like, they have to weigh less than my fridge. They have to have more teeth than my fridge. And I think there was one more thing, and I don't remember it. But I remember having more teeth and weighing less, because fridges, I don't even know how much a fridge weighs, but it's like an ungodly amount. And fridges don't have teeth. So like literally it was a joke about him not being shallow, like any girl do.
I mean, you've seen his taste in women. There's been quite the plethora of variety. So I mean, that would make sense.
The variety, that's so funny. Yeah, I don't have the best record either, because I definitely followed the fridge rule. I had like still to this day I have like no shallowness or qualms really.
Yeah, but you're not on husband number 3. Your brother is on wife number 3.
That's true. I only pulled the trigger one time. That's great. And what's funny is he's never had an actual wedding. Like I've had to go to 2 of Danny's actual weddings. Like Randy's, I don't think they were ever, was yours just a courthouse deal?
In my kitchen.
I love that. Did he make you cook too?
No, my dad came to town the same day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, girl, I was in running shorts and a t-shirt. That's perfect. So we're talking about doing like a huge reception and having like a renewal.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I totally would. I think it's really fun. And people give you gifts for no reason and you get to dance and get drunk. I love weddings, dude. We plan on doing a 10-year party / I don't know that I would renew vows because I didn't say vows the first time. But yeah, we just plan on having a 10-year party. We're at 5 years married right now, so we're halfway there. Just because I love parties, and it's an excuse to like put my wedding dress back on if it fits. So that's the other thing too. You can go get like a really pretty dress if you're into that and just make the whole day about you, which I really like excuses to make the whole day about me, like a lot. So like the day I graduated college, both times from like community college and 4-year college, I made the whole day about me.
I remember watching your graduation, your little drive-through.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they asked us if we wanted to come back, and I was like, no, hard pass. Oh my God, what is happening? I think my husband just broadcasted over the Google.
That was him?
Well, it was his voice. It sounded like it.
See, technology. It's creepy, right?
Yeah, for sure. We have a whole Google-fied house, and I'm pretty sure that was him broadcasting over it. He's probably testing something. I don't know. Either way. I lost my train of thought. Oh, how do you like the family group chat now that it's on Slack instead of actual text messaging?
It's great because I can mute it.
Yeah, that's how I feel. My dad hates it. He's been complaining about it. He was like, I'm offended that you've never invited me onto your show. And I was like, I literally just posted in Slack like 2 days ago asking if anybody wanted to be on it. And Randy and Michelle.
You did not say yes.
Yeah, I was like, Randy and Michelle like even responded. Randy said that Sarah was down, and he was like, I don't know how to use no damn Slack. I keep telling you that. I was like, I'm sorry, Dad. I don't know what to tell you. He
He is
doesn't get
such a
it.
mess.
He doesn't get it. Um, but yeah, I definitely like the Slack better because again, it's like muted, but then whenever I go in, I can kind of like pick and choose what I want to see too and respond.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. Um, yeah. Any fun stuff coming up for you and Randy?
Well, we're kid free this weekend. So
Oh, that's nice.
we went to the gun range today and we cleaned the garage.
Sounds like
He
married
pushed
people stuff.
he pushed my lawnmower with the tractor while I was driving the lawnmower because it was broken. Like the battery was dead. Because we haven't mowed our grass since like, I don't know, October maybe.
That's so funny. I don't have to really mow grass because I live in California and it's just like really dry here. We actually just bought a tiny little electric Ryobi lawnmower, and you
Okay.
put like a Ryobi like battery in it to run it because we don't have a huge yard, and we only have to cut grass like maybe once a month, maybe. So
I'm jealous.
we were just showing Jared how to do it, and it's so light. It's like a little vacuum cleaner, like. So we have a corner lot, so we have like more around the house lawn and not so much back. But we have to keep the back pretty low because we have like 3 dogs, and the one dog is like this far off the ground because she's a little Chiweenie, and so the grass needs to be short, or else she doesn't want to go out there to go pee and poop. So especially because she's old, it's a whole thing. We have like a zoo around here.
My dog likes to roll in the mud. So like
Yeah.
if you give him a bath, he's dirty within 30 minutes.
Yeah, we don't even mess with bathing our animals anymore. We take them to a place, and then that place keeps them until they're dry for that reason, because they're like, this is dumb, dude. I have to bath kids and dogs. This is ridiculous. I can't.
Yeah, but even like once he's dry, he's got to be dirty again.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hated having the wet dogs roaming around and trying to like either keep them inside and then having wet dog out inside, or letting them outside so that they're not wet dogs inside. But then they just get all the dirt and mud stuck to them anyways, because then they're wet. So it was like a lose-lose, and I just sent them away. But yeah, how many dogs do you guys have now? Because I thought you had 2.
We did, and we only have 1 now.
Oh, okay. We had 1. My grandma had 1, and then my mom and her boyfriend got 1. So now we have 3.
Crazy.
Yeah, and my grandma has a cat too, so yeah, and they vary in size. Like her Chiweenie is like this big, maybe, like it's very tiny. And then our dog's like a little 25-pound dog that's some sort of, we call him a trash dog. We got him at the shelter, and he looks like he might have been like a big dog mixed with a Chihuahua. They called him a Chihuahua mix, but he's the largest Chihuahua I've ever seen in my life, if that's what he
25
is.
pounds.
Yeah, maybe even heavier at this point. But yeah, he's pretty medium sized, so he's probably beagle sized. So I don't know why they call it a Chihuahua. Yeah, and then they got the husky. So does your what did you call it, a Shepsky?
He's a Shepsky, yeah.
Shepsky.
German Shepherd Husky.
Does he do? Is it a he? I keep saying
It is.
he. Okay, so does he do the talking thing? Because that's what the husky does. She's like.
So he only talks to us when the kids go to bed and he wants to go outside at like 9 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And he's really vocal with us, and he'll like try to grab you off the couch and everything to go open his door.
That's cute.
Randy says that if the dog had thumbs, he wouldn't need us.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah.
My dog like waits his turn because his name's Bird, and he like once Haley goes to bed at 7, he's like jumping up on the couch and like sitting on me. He's like, it's my time now. She's gone.
My time.
It's my time. And he like sleeps in bed with us and has to like weasel his way in between us in the middle of the night. He's very much like our middle third child that just constantly craves attention.
Wonderful.
And like, yeah, him and Haley have like a good mutual agreement where she like feeds him, so he stays very nice to her and is patient with her, because like she'll just be like, snack for me, snack for you, dinner for me, dinner for you. And that's why he's getting fatter. Like, as if we had him like on a good dog diet and he stayed like nice and lean, and now he's just getting wider by the day because Haley and him just eat everything together.
Well, I feel like I feed Blue all of his favorite snacks. Like this morning I made breakfast for Randy and I, and Blue got a fried egg and 4 sausage links. And if I have steak, then the dog has steak. I don't make him his own steak every time, but he does get the fat trimmings and the bone. And I normally make like a burger patty for him. If I make burgers for the household, he gets a
That's
burger
so
patty. Yeah.
So my mother-in-law, they had a dog named Max, and he was like a runty pit bull dog. He was like the runt of
Okay.
the litter, and he ate whatever they ate plus all the dog food. So even on like Thanksgiving, he got a Thanksgiving plate, and like he got birthday cake on birthdays and everything.
Yeah.
And he was like morbidly obese whenever he passed, but he lived a long happy life. You know, he was the fattest dog I've ever seen in my life, but he was happy. He was a good dog.
Yeah.
So,
Blue
yeah.
is 85 pounds and he runs around all day.
Yeah.
So I feel like he needs all that energy.
Yeah, you know, whatever. Do you
Randy hates it.
well, yeah, Randy hates a lot of things. So he's whatever. You know, he's like very finicky. He's a very fickle person. I believe, isn't he an Aquarius?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty standard. I feel like Aquarius is just, you know, like suck the air out of everything. They're so suffocating. Especially like male Aquariuses, right? Because that's like Randy, that's Danny. I think my dad's like on the cusp.
Yeah.
He's an Aquarius. Yep. So, you know, the three of them are just like, ugh. But yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're like a lot to handle at once for sure. Danny wants to be on the show just to talk about Trump, so that's how that's going. I have no idea what my dad would even talk about if he wanted to be on it. So, you know, have you been to my dad's house in Delaware?
I did. I was pregnant still.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I went in August and I had Eli in September. So I was
God.
miserable.
Oh my God, that sounds hideous.
Yeah.
I've only been there one time, and the house was pretty unfinished whenever I went. Like,
Me too.
yeah, they literally, I don't think any part of it was actually finished. They were like literally living out of the kitchen, dining, half living room area.
They were sleeping in the living room, and then Karen and
Yeah.
Alexis still had like plywood on the floor.
Yep. That's exactly how it worked. So now I feel like I need to go and see it, since I think it's pretty much done at this point from what I hear, but I don't know, I haven't been there. I don't know if that face was like
That was me trying not to yawn.
Oh.
It's my bedtime. Because I'm an old lady and a young girl's body.
Yeah, for sure. I feel that all the time. All my friends are older than me, so I feel like I'm way older than 30. Yeah. So wait, does that mean you just turned 29? So you'll be 30 next year?
Yep.
Are you making big plans for your dirty
So
30?
my best friend will be 40 in May of next year. So we're gonna do a horty 40, dirty 30 in like April.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
We did Vegas, and it was the best decision ever. I was so skeptical because I was like, I don't gamble. I don't want to go to Vegas. But it was really fun. It was super
Did you
duper
see
fun.
any of the shows while you were there?
We went and did the King's tournament or whatever it is, where you eat the food like a Renaissance person and they joust and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
The shows can be expensive, and we didn't want to be tied too much to like times. So
Okay.
that's why we didn't do a lot of those. But we did do this really cool thing, and I keep advocating for it. It's called Omega Mart, and it's inside of Area 15. I can text you all this info if you really want to go. But basically, Area 15 is just this really trippy indoor like marketplace where you walk in and it's like all black lights and awesome EDM music, and you walk around and there's these like little shops and bars and restaurants all around, and then you see this thing called Omega Mart, and it looks like a grocery store. And we bought tickets, right? It was like $50 a ticket, and I had heard about it, but people don't really like say too much because they don't want to give it away. And so I was like, okay, let's just do this today, because you don't really need to be there by a certain time. You just buy a ticket for the day.
Right.
And so we did it, and we walk in, and I thought whenever we got inside Area 15 that this is what we paid for. And I was like, this is weird, because now we have to buy all the things in here after we just paid to get in. And my husband's like, no, we paid to get into Omega Mart. It's over here. Right. So then we walk over to Omega Mart and I'm like, it's literally a grocery store. I'm getting more pissed by the second. And then like Michelle and Kara are the same thing. They're like, why the fuck did we spend $50 on tickets for this? What is happening? And so basically it's all, Omega Mart is built by an artist named Meow Wolf. And he
Meow
has,
Wolf.
yeah, like meow like a cat,
Okay.
and then like wolf like the not domesticated dog. And so he has 3 places like this. There's one in like Denver, one in Arizona, and one in Vegas. And so the store is just like the hoax. And then whenever you're in the store, you find out that there's like all these little secret passageways to get to the real awesome part. And if you really like psychedelics or cannabis, that's like the place to do it. And yeah, it's like way worth the $50. I would have spent more time there, but since we already had plans to meet up with other people and we were all pretty coming down from our high pretty good, we left after about 2 hours. But yeah, and I think that was part of it too. Like we all got really high, and then well, Chris didn't because he was babysitting, but me, Michelle, and Kara got really high in anticipation because that's what everybody told us to do. And then we were just like, what the fuck is going on? Why are we standing in line to get into a fucking grocery store? I'm so pissed right now. I'm wasting this high. We can go look at cool shit somewhere else. Like, but yeah, it ended up being amazing. So if you're in any of those areas, that was like my favorite thing that we did. I would go back there or go to his other locations. You can probably Google it and find pictures, but it's basically this whole like trippy psychedelic place that you find amongst little like cracks in the wall. So it's very interesting.
That's cool.
But yeah, I don't know if you're into any of those things. I really like all of the cannabis and psilocybin things in the world. So I don't know about any other hard drugs. Maybe people have answers about that, but I don't know what it would be like. There were a lot of kids there too, surprisingly. I'm shocked at the amount of people that take kids to Vegas. I don't know, like, it doesn't sound fun to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to party with my kids in Vegas.
Not at all. Not at all. At all.
No.
Have you guys been to like Disneyland or anything like that?
I've been to Disney World.
Oh yeah, you were in Florida. Yeah.
Universal.
That sounds cool. I've never been to any of those things. We did Legoland. We're doing Legoland again. Disney's so fucking expensive, dude.
It is. I want to go back to Harry Potter World and Islands of Adventure Universal.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to keep you up forever and ever because you're an old lady in a young person's body. But I always ask random questions. So, and actually, I think this was before Randy's time, so he didn't get to answer these random questions. Maybe he did. Okay. I don't think so. What's your favorite spice?
My favorite spice?
Yeah.
Probably garlic.
That's a good one. I love hearing it. It was a typo once that somebody asked, and now I just have to know what everybody's favorite spice is. Do you have a favorite Spice Girl? I feel like they're kind of before our time. Yeah, I don't know. I only know like the one famous Spice Girl song, but a lot of people know the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does Randy have a favorite Spice Girl? A lot of people say Posh because I think she's David Beckham's wife. Is Posh Spice David Beckham's wife? I don't know. You have kids, right? So have you watched Encanto?
Oh yes.
Do you have like a favorite Encanto character? Or are you just like anti-Encanto? You hate everything?
I am pretty anti-Encanto at this point. I'm also very anti-Frozen.
Yeah, for sure. I feel that.
I have not watched Turning Red yet.
It's not a musical, so Turning Red is not that. That's why I like Turning Red. It's not a sing-songy one.
Yeah, but I have listened to Encanto's soundtrack almost as much as I've listened to Frozen's soundtrack.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty over it at this point.
I feel ya. Do you have a favorite Winnie the Pooh character?
Winnie the Pooh. He's tattooed on my back.
I have an Eeyore tattoo on my foot. Because I really love Eeyore. I always say my husband's like Winnie the Pooh. I'm definitely an Eeyore on the inside. I'm trying to think if there's any other good random ones. Do you play Wordle?
No.
Oh man, I'm obsessed with
it. What is Wordle?
Really? I feel like it's all over my Facebook feed, and that's like all I see anymore is Wordle. It was originally in the UK, and then the New York Times bought it. So it's a website that you have to go to play it. It's not an app. And then all it is you guess the 5-letter word of the day, and you have 6 tries to guess the 5-letter word. And it'll tell
Okay.
you if the letter's not in there, or if the letter is in there but in the wrong spot. And
Okay.
that's literally all it is. It's the same word for everyone the whole day. And it's like, are you on Facebook? Do you use
Yeah.
Facebook? Okay. So I don't know if you've seen any people sharing it on Facebook, and it's like the white boxes and the green boxes, and that's all you see. And they're like,
Yeah, I
Wordle
mean,
number
I've
3.
seen it.
Yeah. So that's all it is. Because it's like, that way you can share your score without sharing the word if somebody else hasn't played that day. So
Gotcha.
yeah, me and my husband play it. I did not start playing it. He started it first, and then I had to be better than him at it. So I started playing it.
So how often are you correct?
I think I've only missed like 1 or 2 ever. I could pull up my stats because it tells you your stats. But I think Chris is better at it than I am. I don't know how he does it, but that fucker always beats me. I think that he's just a really big nerd with video games, but that's why. Anywho, I won't keep you on forever and ever and ever. I guess I'll end the recording. Do you have anything to share with the people before we end the recording?
No, I'm just a basic boring person.
Are you like a basic white girl that loves pumpkin spice lattes, or no?
No, I'm a
Okay.
caramel macchiato
Okay,
white
cool.
girl.
Cool. Do they have a lot of Starbucks in Tennessee, or no?
Yeah, but I'm not allowed to drink Starbucks because your brother works on their machines and he says they're gross.
Oh man, well I drink there all the time. Where do you get coffee then?
Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, and he thinks Dunkin' Donuts isn't gross?
It's so much cleaner than Starbucks.
Interesting. Okay. I
Yeah.
have a lot of friends that work at Starbucks because there's like a lot of them out here. There's no Dunkin' Donuts out here ever. We have Pete's and we have Starbucks. I don't think people in the West Coast would drink Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Maybe they would.
So
I don't
good.
know. I used to drink it whenever I lived in Pittsburgh, but I just think it's trash now compared to Pete's and Starbucks, or like Dutch Bros. We have a lot of Dutch Bros out here now too. That one's making a come up. I'm trying to think of other stuff. Do you guys have like Jack in the Box there, or like
We have one.
Carl's Jr.?
We don't have a Carl's Jr.
Yeah,
but we have Hardee's, which is the same thing.
Yeah, okay. I don't really like either of those, but I know that that's like a big difference. Is Steak and Shake as far as Tennessee?
Yeah, we have Steak and Shake.
I have seen one Steak and Shake in all of California, and it's in Joshua Tree of all places. I'm trying to think of like any other weird stuff. I did recently, so the episode that posted yesterday was with my friend that used to live in California, and he moved to Tennessee. He moved to Nashville to become a musician. And well, he already was a musician. Now he's getting paid to be a musician. Anyways, he was saying that I was like, yeah, my brother and his wife always post pictures of like Mexican food in Tennessee and think it's really great. And he was like, it's trash. Don't believe anything they say.
It is trash. It is not authentic, but it tastes good.
That's what he was saying. He was like, it's not bad food. It's just like not like authentic. So I thought that was interesting.
I was in California and I went to King City. And there was this like hole in a wall shack that had like 3 picnic tables on the outside, and you walked through, you ordered your food, and then you sat at the picnic tables. And I had to question what I was eating, but my burrito was like bigger than my head. It was so much better. So freaking good.
I'm wondering what you were doing in King City, California.
I was in the Army and I ended up at NTC. So
wait, what is NTC?
The National Training Center.
Oh, I wonder if that's the same King City I'm thinking of. I'm gonna have to Google this now. But I have to circle back. You were in the Army?
Yeah.
I did not know that at all. So what did you have like a specialty in the Army? How long were you in the Army? I have 1,000 questions now. You can't go to bed yet.
I was a reservist for 8 years. I loaded and unloaded cargo and tracked it.
So did you ever go overseas?
Nope. I went to the Republic of Georgia, which is right outside of Russia.
Yeah. Okay.
But I didn't like deploy or anything.
So when did you end that? Do you quit? How does that work? I don't even know.
You just end your contract. Like you come up on the end of it.
Okay.
I got out the same time Randy did, May of 2018.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yep.
That's really cool though. Did you enjoy I'm trying to think of how to word this question without it sounding judgmental. Did you enjoy medical care under the Army while you were pregnant?
I didn't have it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
I was out.
There's tons of military around here, and there's I know a lot of military moms from whenever I was the stay-at-home mom, and we would go to like all the bullshit that moms go to with their babies, and they would talk about how their husband specifically asked to come to California for their babies to be born because they liked the care here better as
Gotcha.
military like medical coverage than in other states. I guess there was like more openness and opportunities, but I never really talked to anybody else about it, so I didn't know how that worked.
I mean, I had an okay OBGYN when I had Eliza, but I had a phenomenal OBGYN when I had Charlie. Two very different labors, two very, very different situations. I was induced with Charlie. I had a natural birth with Eli. She broke my water while I was at work at Texas Roadhouse. Freaking asshole. Yeah. And then your brother. So I called your brother and I was like, hey, I need you to come get me from work. I was supposed to work at Double today, but my water's broke. I need you to find somewhere for Charlie to go and come get me. And what does your brother do? He doesn't believe me. So he shows up with Charlie in the back seat still. We're 13 hours away from my family, 10 hours away from his family. So like, I need you to figure this out, bud. I need you to be prepared. So he shows up, Charlie's still in the back seat. I'm calling his best friend and I'm like, are you home? Oh, I'm leaving. Well, you're going to stay there for like 10 more minutes. I'm on the way. I need you to take Charlie. So we pull in this boy's driveway. I'm unbuckling Charlie's seatbelt, like the car seat, and like throwing him out of the car. We're almost to the hospital. Like we're turning down the road to get to the hospital. And Randy says, are you sure we're not leaving tonight? Bro, my water is dripping. Like I'm not constantly peeing on myself. He says, well, I guess I should feed you then.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we get to the hospital like 6:45. I get checked in. They come up and they're like, well, I mean, we can't really tell if it's your water. And I'm like, really? Like, this is what you do for a living. You deliver babies. And I'm telling you, my water is broke. I promise it's not pee. So yeah. They did a strep test and it was positive for amniotic fluid. I ended up staying. It's like 8:00 at night now. And my contractions are rolling in, but I don't feel them. So I'm watching Investigation Discovery all night. Randy's sleeping on the couch.
Did you get an epidural or are you just chilling?
Girl, I didn't get an epidural until like 12:00 the next afternoon. They found a 4-bag, which is where your cervix is blocked by the rest of the bag. It didn't fully rupture.
Okay.
So they took that beautiful like
crochet hook
cheap
thing
shaft and they shove it in there. Yeah. And I sat at 7 centimeters until like, I don't know, I was at 7 centimeters before they broke my water completely. I'd been there for like 2 hours. I finally called for an epidural like 12:30, took a 30-minute nap and it was time to push.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I was tired. My water broke at 1:14 on the 22nd and she came out at 1:21 on the 23rd.
Yeah, I had long labors with both of them, and they had to both end in C-sections. Yeah, because I thought I would do like a natural the second time around and give it a try. No.
Yeah.
Never again, dude.
I was induced with Charlie and it was 4 hours flat. And I just had this like magical picture in my head that like, they say the second baby's so much faster. I can do this. We're going to be in and out. Like, I better make it to the hospital on time.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
She had different plans.
I thought the same thing with Haley too. Like, we got pregnant before the pandemic. We got pregnant in like December 8th. I found out I was pregnant in 2019. And then the pandemic hits in like March of 2020. So instantly we're like, okay, let's talk about a home birth then, because I don't want to go to the hospital. That's where people are dying and sick. And so I'm working with my regular OBGYN, which is under like state medical insurance. So they're trash. And they're doing their best. That sounds really mean. They're doing their best, but they have like 8 million pregnant people to take care of because it's state medical insurance. And then I'm talking to my midwife. Both of them are aware. I'm seeing both at the same time because I have to be cleared to do a VBAC and all this stuff. But my kids were 6 years apart and everything was super healed. They did all the extra sonograms to make sure there's nothing in the way of the cervix or anything, right? And so we're like good to go. And then I'm at home for like 24 hours laboring, just like I did with Jared the first time. And I'm just at home doing my thing, trying to be comfortable. And then finally I was like, you know what? I'm fucking over this, dude. With Jared, I didn't get an epidural until the very end whenever they were about to do the C-section, which is at like hour 36. And I was like, I'm over it. It's been 24 hours. Nothing's happening. I'm just going to go to the hospital. And I thought whenever I would get there, it would be amazing because this is the second baby. I'm just going to show up. They're going to do some type of magical thing and a baby's going to come out. But that didn't happen. So I get there and I'm like, I really, really want the epidural. I know what it feels like. I know how amazing it's going to be. I need a nap. I haven't slept in like 24 hours. And so then, you know, they do their whole bit. They like check you in, do all the stuff. And they're like, well, we have to find out how, you know, like how dilated you are or whatever. Right. So then they check and then they come back in after like the epidural's in place and everybody's like relaxed now. And it's just me, my husband and my midwife because they don't let anybody else in. It's COVID. And so they come in after we're all settled and they're like, yeah, so you're only like maybe 2 centimeters dilated, maybe. So you're probably going to be in labor for a couple of days. And my husband was like, I'm sorry, what? I was like, did you just say days? And they were like, yeah, so basically you can stay here and we'll keep the epidural flowing. We'll try like Pitocin and blah, blah, blah. You can get off all the drugs and go back home. And I was like, that's not happening. And they were like, or since you had a C-section the first time, you can just pull the C-section card anytime you're ready. We'll just roll you in and take you. And I was like, all right, I guess we'll hang out for a minute and see what happens. So then they walk away. And we're like talking, me and my husband and my midwife. And I'm like, I don't want to throw in the towel and just call a C-section. I've gotten through all this work. I really wanted to have a successful VBAC. And then like all of a sudden, all the alarms start going off. And then they're like, we can't hear her heart rate. We're just going to do a C-section. And I was like, all right, decision made. They just like rolled me off. Second C-section it was. But yeah, it was, both of them were like 36 to 38 hours. It was ridiculous.
No,
dude.
thank you. I'm so sorry.
That's why I'm like, I'm done, man. I cannot. It's not fun being pregnant. I throw up the whole time and I'm like super gassy and my allergies are crazy. I don't glow whenever I'm pregnant. I just like burp and throw up a lot. Like, yeah, it's not fun. I don't want to have any more C-sections. I don't want to have any more labors. It's all done. I'm over all of it. But this time for reals, I'll let you go. I can ask you my 9,000 questions about the military anytime. Or we'll just have a part 2. Either way.
Part 2. Got it.
But yeah, thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
It was fun talking to you. I'll end the recording, but it won't like hang up, so you don't have to end it right away. But yeah, either way. Okay, bye.